Hey Sunrise, it's Andrew here with your small group questions for this week as we unpack Genesis chapter 41, verses 1 through 36. So it's two parts that we'll be unpacking over the next couple weeks. But for this part, we're working through Joseph coming out of the pit and into the palace. So for the first half, we're going to see how he gets there. And it all begins with these dreams. So Pharaoh has two dreams. What stands out to you for the fact that it's 2 years later and our text immediately opens with the dreams? So they're going to be told in total. Both dreams are told twice in our text. Why is that important? What stands out in some of that textual importance that's trying to be laid out for us here? And so as you unpack the dream, what are some of the things that stand out in the dream? What are some of the significant things that you hear in the dream that are key to our understanding of it? And then, of course, from this, we then see the fear that comes from it. What do you make of Pharaoh's reaction to the dreams and the fact that his own magicians and servants can't come up with an interpretation? Why are all of these things important to our understanding of Genesis and ultimately the work of God? So from their failings, we then see the cupbearer come back into play as he then speaks of this Hebrew who helped him. What are some of the key characteristics that we see described of Joseph by the cupbearer to Pharaoh? What's important about those descriptions? And again, ultimately, we then see Pharaoh bring Joseph to him to answer that question. Joseph's response is so key here because he points to the fact that it is not him, it is God that has brought these interpretations. What does that again? Continue to teach us about Joseph and teach us about God through our text. What is God teaching us in Joseph's statements? And so, of course, we have Pharaoh unravels the dreams before him, shows his concern, and then Joseph, of course, gives his interpretation from God. And then from that interpretation, he then gives advice. What stands out about the advice that Joseph gives? How does this advice kind of work with what we've seen progress through the life of Joseph? How does he get this wisdom on how to move forward in Egypt? How does that all connect with God's sovereign work? It's one of the things that we continually have seen throughout the book of Genesis is God's sovereignty in moving people along the way and also man's responsibility in those decisions. So as you begin to unpack and think through these parts of Genesis 41, 1 to 36, it'll set us up for next week in his rise to power. We'll see how God then uses Joseph to further his goals for the people of Israel. Hope you'll spend some time again unpacking the word and then spending some time in our small groups as we talk about these things together. Can't wait to worship with you guys on Sunday. See you soon.